Hey, what's up, guys? So I wanted to ask you guys something, right? Have you ever been through a situation, right, where it was something so traumatic, whether it was physical or mental or maybe both, and you ask yourself in those dark moments, like, where was God? Why didn't He come help me sooner, right? Well, Saint Anthony had those same questions. Imagine this: Saint Anthony sold all his belongings. He gave them all away to the poor. He went pretty much lived his life as a hermit, right, in the desert. But in this time period, he was living in some tombs, right, and he literally would get his friends to like lock him inside the tomb, right, from the outside, so he couldn't get out. And one time, the devil sees him, right, and he doesn't like how he's like devoting so much time to God, so he ends up sending his angels, fallen angels, and they literally physically beat up Saint Anthony. Like they beat him up to Pope, right? Like he's messed up. But God didn't forget Saint Anthony, so he sends his friend, right, the next morning to go bring Saint Anthony bread. And he ends up finding him, right, and he's like unconscious, so he carries him, takes him back to the village, and he lays him on the floor in the village church, and people are gathered there around, right, pretty much looking over him like if he's like pretty much dead. In the middle of the night, St. Anthony wakes up and he signals to his friend, the one that brought him to the church, and he pretty much tells him to take him back to the tombs. So the guy carries him, takes him back to the tombs, locks him in there again, right? And St. Anthony couldn't even get up to pray. Like he couldn't even kneel to pray. He was so sore. He was so messed up, right? So he laid down in the tomb. Imagine this, in the middle of the night in this dark tomb. You just got beaten up and he's going back again. And he goes and he tells the fallen one, right, and his angels, like, well, here I am. I'm Anthony, right? And like pretty much you could beat me up or whatever, but nothing could separate me from the love of Christ. And this, the fallen one and his minions get angry, and they like start appearing, right? Like I don't know if in vision form or what, but like inside the tomb where he's at, laying because he can't even move, and they appear in forms of like bears, lions, wolves, snakes, scorpions. They're like all around him, right? And they're like sneering at him, like growling at him, like hissing at him, like just trying to get closer to him, right? Next thing you know, a light comes from heaven, and he tells pretty much once the light shines down from heaven, all these shadows, right, disappear. And Saint Anthony tells God, right, like, oh, where were you, right? Like, why didn't you show up sooner to like end my suffering? But God tells him, oh, I was here, Anthony, right? I just wanted to see like your resistance, pretty much, like if he would endure, and which he did. So God blesses him, and he pretty much tells him, oh, because you endured, right, I will for always be your helper. And